welcome back to Belmont Bunch, where I almost sulked and didn't do my post-game notes, which I've been doing specifically in this series for some reason. I don't know. Almost sulked and just threw together whatever video. Decided to sit down and take a few minutes to plan it out. So let's talk about this game. The Islanders lose 4-2, and the series is tied at 1. First thoughts, it's frustrating because it's you don't want to get greedy, but it's a huge chance to not put a team out of the series, but put them in a very difficult hole to crawl out from. Now, obviously, I've seen 2-0 come back from before. The Blue Jackets blowing it against the Capitals the year the Caps won the Cup comes to mind. And especially against this Lightning team, that wouldn't have, put the series out of reach. But it's still frustrating because of some of the stuff, specifically more towards the third. But we'll start from the beginning. So there was another early 4-on-4 in this game. Kind of similar start to game 1. Very chippy. The Lightning getting some good possession to start. And then 4-on-4 happens. A little bit further into the game than 8 seconds this time. But it involved Mayfield again. So there's that. Huge save. First on point in tight by Varlamov, and then on the huge rebound by Kucherov, gets a glove on it, makes himself big, kind of trips Kucherov coming off of the save. This game would have... The referees were involved. Although I will say, spoiler alert, I'm not going to blame it on the refs. Okay, so... Those incredible saves, unfortunately for not, as Brayden Point gets his first in the first period here. It's kind of a simple play that the Islanders kind of bungle, but you have to give credit to the Lightning for doing what the Islanders have been doing and did in the first game, which was not make it easy ever to exit your own zone. And Pelech, he's got Bo. It's in an awkward spot because he doesn't want to throw it right out to center, and there is a Lightning player in front of Pelech, so he's got to figure out how to put it around the boards, but soft enough that Bo can get there. He puts it too hard around the boards. He gets to the point. He gets thrown on goal and falls behind the net. Kucherov with that very, very deft touch, the back pass to the back post, and Point gets it to go. Not much Varley could do there. The Islanders a little bit lackadaisical in their own zone there. A little sluggish getting out. So, that is 1-0. And then we get to the obvious thing, which isn't even controversy because we just know what it is. It's a bad call on Brayden Point. Goaltender interference is called. Pelech, we always talk about, stop pushing players into your goalie. This one's especially egregious. He, pushes Point straight into Varlamov. Point had a lot of speed going, and Pelech's push kind of sent Point out of control, and that's the key word, is out of control, because I didn't think there was much that Point could do here, if anything. So he gets called, and I'm very much convinced that it's just optics sometimes. It looks bad to see a player go that hard into the goalie with nobody touching him in the last 5 feet. Don't worry, that's not me exonerating the Islanders. That just shouldn't have been a penalty. The Islanders get a power play, and they immediately score on it. It was their only power play goal of the night. Both teams had a lot of trips to the box. This one, kind of just a simple Bailey back and forth with Leddy. Bailey just decides, there's a little bit of room in front. I'll throw it in front. And it bounces right onto a Lightning stick. He puts it right onto the stick of Brock Nelson, who just snaps it and gets it to go in a big crowd. So Vasi couldn't really do much there. But I do think I passed over. I did pass over. The Islanders had a power play previous to that, and an incredible save by Vasilevsky. Kind of trading saves with Varley on that early one. It's a power play attempt. Another one where Bailey got it down low. Zajac gets a tip, stopped by Vasilevsky, and then Vasilevsky goes full Gumby and does the split, gets his arm over, keeps it out on Palmieri on the power play. That was before the Islanders eventually scored on the second power play. So, after one, we're 1-1. We have the referees making their mark on the game. But let's not forget also, that the Lightning, and this is what I thought, if you look at my Twitter, I thought the makeup call, because, you're obviously waiting for it. And, this time, more than most, you're like, okay, it's justified. Just wait for it. And Komarov gets an interference call. It looked very, very, very light. So didn't like that. Thought at that point, that was the makeup call. Yeah. I was wrong. The Islanders killed that penalty, by the way. So I thought, whoa, what was that? I thought, oh, that's the Lightning's chance. That's their, well, anyway. So we're 1-1 after one, and the Islanders, not a great period. Pretty happy just to get out of it 1-1. And Sorokin had to finish the period. Important to note, Sorokin came in at the back half of this period on a penalty kill, made a huge, but he made a good stop on Kucherov on a one-timer on the power play. Looked really solid in the 2 seconds he was in there. Well, no, there's more than that, but I'm not screaming goaltending controversy because I'm just not. I'll get into it as we talk about the other goals, but to this point, he's only given up the point goal, and there's not much you can do about that. Now, in the second period, the period kind of starts with Bo hits the post on a 2-on-1. The Islanders hit a lot of posts this period. Dobson would hit a post later in this period. Not long before Palat gets one. And now we get to controversy number 2. So, like I said, I thought the Lightning already got their call on the Komarov interference. Turns out I was wrong because, let's talk about it as a play first, and then we'll talk about it as a controversy. Kucherov, a good stretch pass up the ice. Kucherov has it, does kind of a little Barzy stuff, playing around in the zone. Leddy's got him covered. And on the back post, I believe it's Mayfield has another Lightning player covered. And Matt Barzal, just a little overcommittal, a little bit. The whole center of the ice is open as the Islanders were, a little discombobulated in their own zone. Andre Palat. Playoff Palat. Andre Palat, yeah. Playoff Palat gets one, rips the top corner, nobody on him, middle of the slot. Now, too many men on the ice, so clearly this shouldn't have counted at this point. Everybody was saying, oh, we're even now, and I was like, no, the Lightning got their power play chance just like we did. We still had to cash in on a chance. Obviously, that call was wrong. Like I said, it shouldn't have been an Islander power play. This should have been blown dead. So either way, it's the Islanders are still only down 1. I know it's the wrong call, but you're like, okay, it's 2-1. We're not out of this yet. But the Islanders didn't play an especially great second period. They did hit a bunch of posts, so maybe that's, it looks worse than it was. But you go into the third, the shots aren't quite, looking great for them, but they've played an okay defensive game. They offensively, I think we're getting close to Wahlstrom coming back. They didn't want to mess with the lineup while they were on a winning streak. And Zajac in this third period, as we skip forward into the third period, Zajac took a couple of penalties, but we'll get to that. Ruda, I talked about going into the series that if the Islanders could keep the Lightning to a one-line team like they kind of did the Bruins, they could do this. And that's why through two, even though it was 2-1, I was like, but it's still just that top line. So there's a lot to build off here. And then they give up 2 goals to the defenseman. So Ruda's one. It's tough. It looks bad for Varley because it's so far out. I will say it is absolute top corner. It's a bullet. And there's a high screen by Bailey that wasn't very helpful. And so, Varley didn't look like he got a read of, he didn't see the puck off the stick. So 3-1, and that kind of felt like it was it. The Islanders never really recovered. And 2 goals against Tampa, who underrated, even with all that offense, they can lock it down defensively too. And they did a pretty good job of that. Kind of like the Islanders did in game 1 of salting down time. Later on, they would, push back the Islanders' ability to pull the goalie like the Islanders have been doing to everyone. So, the Lightning, they can win in a lot of different ways. Zajac took a penalty, and Hedman cashes in his first on the power play. Again, a lot of traffic in front. Varley got a big piece of it and didn't get all of it. I didn't really put this on him. I guess of all of them, maybe the third one is harder to swallow, but this one, the Islanders have already imploded at this point. They're taking way too many penalties. Leo got in a fight with Gord in the third. Poking the bear a little bit too much. I think the Islanders would have liked to take the air out of this game, but credit to the Lightning, they had so much possession of the puck. That was their best defense, was just possession in the offensive zone, good forechecking. A lot of the things the Islanders do well. So like I said, they have a lot of sandpaper. They're going to be able to match the Islanders when it comes to that. And the Islanders, at least they go out fighting. They get one from Barzy. Not a great goal from Vasilevsky, but, too little too late. This one wasn't as much a goaltender's duel, although Varley made some pretty good saves. He made a really good one right after it became 4-1. The Islanders give up a break into the zone. He gets the flipper out. He makes another late save after it's 4-2 with the flipper. On the empty net advantage, on the 6-on-5 advantage, the Islanders really not even interested in. I get it. They're very methodical, but you're down 2 and there's a minute left. Not enough pucks to the net for my liking. Especially, you never know. I've seen a lot of times with the Islanders. I remember against the Rangers this year, they had a goal. I don't know why this one in particular is one that I remember, but I think it was Dobson just threw one at the net. It got blocked, but it went right to Bo, and he just slammed it home. So sometimes that stuff happens, and the Islanders got to force those, issues, force that more. But yeah, it was a good night on the PK mostly. The big worry, because you saw it on the Hedman goal, or you saw it just on the Islanders PK later in the period, they were missing something without Pajot. And if Pajot is hurt, even if he's playing and he's playing at like 50%, that's a huge blow for the Islanders. Center depth is really good 1 through 4, but then past that, you're kind of throwing Leo probably to play center, and then Wally comes in. I'd love to, Wahlstrom I think has a good shot at coming in now, with Zajac taking one cross check, and then the slash they called on him looked like kind of a phantom call. There were a lot of phantom calls at the end of this game. At least it was both ways, but it was like there was a call on Chernak where I was like, what? And like I said, the Zajac one I didn't like. And Zajac at the end of the game, he gets in this is after the final whistle, so I can throw this way. I hit myself. Zajac, he got into it with Cirelli, and Cirelli went off injured. I got to see the video. Thankfully, Cirelli, his head could have fallen onto the ice. It fell onto Zajac's glove. That's good. Zajac was an angry camper tonight. Probably frustrated from a really bad third period. Anyway, the series. Look at that. It's 0-0 again. And, you still feel good. You feel like the crowd at the Coliseum. I did think for Tampa the crowd was better tonight. I don't know. I feel weird commenting on that. But I did also see videos from Islander fans in the arena that it didn't sound as loud in the arena as it sounded on TV. So maybe it sounded like fake noise getting piped in. Either way, it doesn't really matter. The Islanders crowd will try to get them going again. They played really well in these playoffs. I was going to say at home in these playoffs. They've played very well in these playoffs. Not a great one tonight, but a team like Tampa, it's going to happen. I'm more concerned by the third period effort than I am by the first two periods. Hit a lot of posts in the second period. Could have been a lot different. So yeah, that's the recap. We'll see you next time. Thursday. I am going to miss a lot of the game. I have softball. Boo. I know. I'm sorry. But much like in the first series, I'm going to be able to watch some of the first period. We might even kick it to James to do this recap because, if he gets to watch the whole game, get some different insights. I get tired of hearing myself speak a little bit. I know that might sound hard to believe. But anyway, that's the video. We'll see you next time. Fair play to Tampa on getting this one. Referees, horrible all the way around. Wouldn't have it any other way. And it's just frustrating because you're like, ugh, man, they just suck. But again, that wasn't the result tonight. It's more of just a side annoyance where you're like, can't they just call a game? Anyway, for the 5th time, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.